All right. So, what were we talking about before Arcane saved you?
I wasn't even paying attention, to be honest with you.
Oh, was I not talking to you? I thought I was talking to you in the room.
No, I wasn't in there tonight. Or you mean the other night?
No, I meant just right now. Oh, come on, dude.
Yeah, you might as well leave that conversation.
Yeah, fine with that.
So you live in the States?
I live in California.
Illinois here. Yeah, you can't really get a word in over there, and I understand from both sides of you, points of view, but
I think specifically you can't. I mean, it's harder for people that think that the Earth is, the shape that it really is. A word in edgewise because Pillbox is desperately afraid of people who make sense. I was on a roll, so obviously they insisted that I talk about this one thing. Oh, you mentioned this. Now you have to talk about this. Well, no, I don't. I get to finish making my point. No, you don't. Mute. Talk about that. I'm like, no, I'm going to finish my point. Then I'll talk about it. No, you're not. You're going to be muted and kicked out. Oh, okay. That's fair. I mean, why would he do that unless he was afraid?
I don't know what. Well, apparently you guys have had a history then.
I'm unaware of any history other than Pillbox refusing to make arguments, sounding very cocky and kicking people out of rooms.
Yeah.
I mean, if you call that a history, it's not much of a history.
I've never seen you around before.
I've been around the great debate community for quite some time.
With evolution and.
I think evolution's kind of a dumb argument. My atheism doesn't rest on evolution, and evolution is obviously true. It's inevitable.
The evolution is?
Yeah, evolution is inevitable.
Well, then that could be a big part of what's appealing to the globe model for you, because that is the foundation. Without that, there's no evolution.
That's not true.
But well, it's an opinion. It's an opinion.
On a flat Earth, given certain criteria, on a flat Earth, things would still evolve.
Right, but we don't have transmutation. There's no record of that whatsoever.
What transmutation?
Like us coming from apes, so to speak, and out of a one-celled organism.
I would consider that to be transmutation. Yeah, I mean, evolution doesn't work like that. Things don't mutate, right? There's a mutation in the genome, and things are born different than their parents.
Yeah, but
organisms themselves don't mutate.
But to go from amino acids to a intelligent human being, that's what you think?
I don't see why not. Like I said, it seems inevitable.
It's possible. It's possible, I guess.
Not only possible, like I said, I keep using the word inevitable, and I specifically mean inevitable. If you have a self-replicating molecule, self-replicating molecules in our world isn't perfect. There's entropy, so self-replicating molecules will make mistakes. Some mistakes will be beneficial to their environment. I mean, if you say that they're random, and most theists and creationists will admit that, yeah, of course, the mutations that happen to the genome are random. Well, then you have to admit that even if 99.999% of them are harmful or neutral, you have to have some that are beneficial if they're truly random. And those beneficial ones have a better chance of being passed on than the neutral ones or the non-beneficial ones or the actually detrimental ones. Under those scenarios, yes, of course things are going to change over time.
Yeah, but to assume that we would ever lose the ability to use our feet like hands, like an ape does
Well, we would. There's a
in
constant to
in
that.
a survival
Yeah,
in a
genetic drift
survival
explains that.
in a survival of the fittest type scenario. I don't care how much intelligence you want to gain, you're not going to lose the ability to have
Why do
four
you say
hands.
that?
You know,
Why do you say that?
what would be the evolution area? That's like
Genetic drift.
de-evolving.
It's not de-evolving. It's just evolving something that you don't really need, right? So the explanation.
Don't
of why
really
that
need
happens,
like a
what you don't need.
80-pound monkey could like hold us down and chew our face off. You know.
Right, but we don't need that to survive. But there are other selective pressures on humans than that. So we don't. So those things that apes really, really need in order to procreate.
So
Humans, hold
so
on,
how
hold
do
on, hold on. Let me just finish
no
this real
no
quick.
no
I really need to explain this
we're-
to you. I need to explain this to you because you don't seem to get why genetic drift would erase features that you don't use, and it's very, very easy. Because there's no selective pressure there. So if a baby is born, for example, with bad eyesight, and you correct that with glasses, then the gene for bad eyesight continues to be passed down. That mutation, which is not beneficial, will get passed down. So we lose things like perfect eyesight or hands for feet.
Okay, well, explain how a Ouija board works.
Are you trolling me?
No, I'm serious.
What does that have to do with hands for feet?
There's
Genetic drift.
I'm changing the topic. I agree to disagree there, and I'm just asking you a question, bro.
Okay, well,
Have you,
Ouija boards work by the ideomotor effect.
by the what?
Effect. Ideomotor effect.
I never heard of that, but
Really?
enlighten me.
Yeah, so you have imperceptibly small hand movements that are controlled by your subconscious. It's the reason why, sometimes people who are asleep, their arm might drift up to their chest, or also why dowsing rods work.
No, I don't
They don't
mean
work.
I don't mean the actual physical part of it. I mean the unexplainable part of it, to where like.
But it is perfectly
You know.
explainable. It's explained by when you have a bunch of people putting their hands on the board, the ideomotor effect, their subconscious brain moves their hands and they're not aware of it. So these answers that you think you're getting on a Ouija board aren't really, the spirit's talking to you. It's just your subconscious. This is proven, by the way, with Ouija boards in the lab. You can actually test this yourself. People who are blindfolded and are asked questions on a Ouija board will get around the same answers. They'll go to yes, they'll go to no. But if you flip the Ouija board upside down or backwards, they'll still point to where their mind thinks the yes or no or letters are in their head.
I'm saying the people with their hands on the thing had no way. No, it would have been impossible for them to have the answer to a question, and yet it spells it out. People crying hysterically on the floor, thinking they're talking to their dead relative, because it answered the question.
Why are they? Well, if they couldn't know the answer, then why do they think the answer was correct?
No, like say that a bystander is watching and asking the people that with their hands on the board.
I'd have to see that.
A question.
I'd have to see that and have
Right.
a double-blind study. I mean, the studies I'm talking about have been double-blinded. I mean, these are controlled. These are controlled scientific experiments. I have reason to trust these. I don't have reason to trust somebody's story about a Ouija board that they had 15 years ago when there was no control done.
So you don't believe in evil?
I believe in evil. Except I have a kind of a secular version of what evil is. I think evil is enjoying the suffering of free beings.
Enjoying the what?
The suffering of free beings.
Yeah, but if it's a survival type situation,
Well, there's no need.
Why would
to
it be
enjoy
evil?
the suffering of free beings to survive. That's why it says the enjoyment of the suffering of free beings.
Well, so
That's not necessarily
animals are evil too. There's free animals, right?
No, animals aren't evil. They don't enjoy the suffering of free beings.
So how did you come to all this?
All
Your
what?
worldview. How did you come to your worldview?
Research, debate, and reading. Yeah, reading, research, debate. Honing the things that I believe and looking for contradictions. One of the ways you look for contradictions is you argue with people and try to defend your position, and when you fail to defend your position, you abandon it or fix it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Drop my earbuds. There we go.
So let me see here. So the origin of this whole construct, what?
The origin of what construct?
The Earth.
I don't know. It's probably formed from the accretion disk.
Accretion disk.
Accretion disk.
And elaborate.
In the earlier days of this arm of the Milky Way, there was a lot of dust particles that accumulated into the sun and planets.
And bam, we got trees and seasons and cycles and perfect climate and rain and oceans.
Yeah, seasons are perfectly explained by the axial tilt.
So can you like bang some dust together and replicate that?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Stephen Jay Gould said that, given, whatever, 4 billion years, setting this, pot cooking again, we wouldn't necessarily have the same outcome, the exact same evolutionary outcome. We have creatures that look very, very different, but if there were self-replicating molecules, it's to be evolution, still probably higher creatures.
Don't you think if it was that simple, then
what's simple about that?
It would be everywhere. Well, I mean, just dust. I mean, one thing about me, dude, is you don't have to defend your worldview because I'll respect it. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong.
That's not really respecting worldviews. I mean, that's the
because there's one thing that you got to understand is that we're not going to change each other's worldview.
Well, that's not true.
So I'm more interested in.
Well, now you're calling me a liar. You asked me how I got to more worldview, and I just told you by research and debate. When I debate and people defeat, parts of the worldview that I have that are problematic or show me in a contradiction.
So have you ever experienced
So what you just said is a lie. I very, very clearly and specifically changed my worldview, and you can do that too.
Well, I simply said that we're not going to change each other's worldview. I'm not, because that's not what I'm into. But yes, neither here nor there. But have you ever been depressed or have anxiety or guilt or shame or any of that stuff?
Yeah, I'm human. I've had feelings.
Emotion. Right. Well, I mean, is that evil or where does that come from?
Why would emotions be evil?
Well, if it's making you suffer, making a free being suffer.
I mean, evil isn't just suffering. I said it's the enjoyment of the suffering of free beings.
Yeah, so who's enjoying it when you are depressed or having anxiety or?
Possibly my enemies. And if my enemies enjoy my suffering, then they're evil. I don't know who specifically. I can think of a few people that might enjoy my suffering. I think Pillbox probably enjoys my suffering if he knew of it.
Is she in there?
That's weird. I was just
One second.
that you found that little bitch up there the other day.
All right, sorry about that.
It's all right.
All right. Well, where do you want to? You take the control. Where do you want this conversation to go? Because, like, I've been through all this a dozen times over, so you're not gonna see me getting bent out of shape or emotionally invested in anything like that. If you want to debate something, then you bring up a topic.
Well, I mean, honestly, I kind of want to debate somebody who's a little bit more invested. I mean, you don't seem to be too invested.
Well, that's because I understand that I'm not here to change your worldview.
But that's exactly what I'm looking for.
To examine you, to pick your brain and figure out why you believe the things that you believe.
Like what specifically?
I don't know. It's just kind of hard to understand how, to me, someone can think this just came up out of the mud. But that's
what
just
came out of the mud?
The earth, bro. Or the dust.
I don't think
out of the mud. It's a figure of speech.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you think that's problematic. I mean, is it any less sensible? Hell, it's a lot more sensible since there's evidence for it. Is it any less sensible than suggesting that the universe was chaos and then God came down and made order out of it? Why is that more sensible?
I never made that claim. But I won't speak about God. But
well, we're here on Earth. Do you think that Earth is eternal, or do you think that it was at some point it was not in existence and now it is in existence? Do you think the Earth has an origin?
Yeah. As far as that goes, I could only speculate, bro. I mean, just like you can only speculate with dust.
No. You can conclude. There's enough evidence that one can conclude it.
Well, then I could conclude that, yeah, it was spoken to existence.
Sure, you can, and you could also be wrong. I mean, there's problems like the problem of ex nihilo creation that would make it really difficult for God to create much of anything the way the Bible describes him as creating it.
Give me one problem with Scripture that you have.
Ex nihilo creation. God, creation from nothing is problematic, because one must act upon something prior to its existence. And one cannot act upon something prior to its existence, because for something to be acted upon, it would have to exist. How can you act upon something that doesn't exist? So God cannot act upon the world, pulling into existence from nothing, because it would have to exist first.
Well, that would be it. So, but just nature and atoms themselves can. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not sure how the Earth came, or how the Big Bang came into existence. It could be pre-existing material, and that's not a problem for the problem of ex nihilo creation.
But you could be wrong, right?
Right, but unless you have a good reason to suggest why I'm wrong about the problem of ex nihilo creation, then the problem of ex nihilo creation stands.
That's fine, bro. Like I said, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but
so you're just going to go ahead and reject it without having
to ignore your senses. When it comes to reality, bro, you really have to ignore your senses and observations to rely on math and other things to override them, you know.
Oh, does your senses say that Earth was made via God, or that the problem of ex nihilo creation isn't a problem? Which sense tells you that one can act upon something before it exists?
My senses say that I'm not moving. And,
obviously, your senses would tell you the same thing if you were traveling in a uniform rate of motion relative to the Earth, even if the Earth is flat. I mean, that's how physics works.
Do you subscribe to any conspiracy theories at all, like 9/11?
I used to, but I mean, I want to get you the gravity of what I just said. No pun intended.
What, the Cavendish? Some guy
No,
swinging balls around in a barn in the 1800s?
No. First of all, no, it wasn't a barn. But no. Specifically, I'm talking about what you just said about you being able to sense your movement. You can't sense your movement. You can't sense uniform rates of motion. You cannot. There's no experiment one can do from the inside of a traveling vessel, traveling at a uniform rate of motion relative to another observer that you can do that shows you that you're moving. There's no sense data that exists that can show that. So senses be damned. Oh, are you still there?
Yeah, somebody was talking. Yeah, man, it's just I really don't have, like, I don't see any purpose of really discussing anything with you because, like I said, I respect your worldview and I'm not here to try to change
Well,
it.
you apparently don't respect my worldview. If you respected my worldview,
You don't. I like speaking with philosophy.
well, if you respected one's
Philosophy.
worldview, you wouldn't treat it with kid gloves.
Well, ditto, bro. It goes
I'm not
both
treating your
ways.
worldview with kid gloves. I'm telling you why I think you're wrong.
Go for it.
I have been.
Well, see, the only thing that I have is what I have inside of me and what I've had, my testimony, what's happened to me to make
Yeah,
me.
but God can exist and the earth can
Up
be
to
a
the-
globe. Your testimony about God doesn't really help you in this.
Well, it helps. The globe is the foundation of your worldview, bro. Without heliocentrism
It is not.
and millions of years, evolution isn't possible.
Incorrect. That's the
How many
foundation of a
years?
worldview.
How many years do you need for a one-celled organism to turn into a human being?
I don't
roughly?
know, but that is not the foundation of my worldview. It's a part of my worldview.
How
It's
many?
the thing that I think is
How
true.
many years? How many years would you?
I already
for
answered that. I don't
to-
know. I don't know,
Well,
and
then
it's
how
not the
could you
foundation of my
say
worldview.
that? Then how could you say that it isn't? Because where does the millions of years concept come from, bro?
But why
takes a
do you
long
think
time
that
for
that's? Why do you think that something that's a part of my worldview, because I think it's true, is the foundation for my worldview? Evolution is not my worldview. Heliocentrism is not my worldview. These are things that make up a worldview. They're parts of worldviews. The foundation of my worldview is like the things that I start with axiomatically and build a worldview up from that. Things like other minds exist. Logic is generally valid.
Logic makes no sense without intelligent design.
It makes perfect sense without intelligent design. Why would it? Explain to
that?
me why it's the case that you can't have logic without intelligent design.
I said you need intelligent design to have logic.
Right, that's what I just said. Account for that. Why is that the case? Why do you know that's true?
Well, because without a code written in our hearts, we have no right or wrong, bro. We didn't just
Right or
man to
wrong
sit
has nothing.
aside.
So you need logic to know what's right or wrong, but you don't need to know what's right or wrong to have logic.
Yeah, it's kind of the foundation of logical thinking.
No, it's not.
If this is
It depends on what you mean by
if
right
I
or
do
wrong.
this wrong.
By right or wrong, do you mean morally right or wrong?
if I do this experiment wrong, it could kill me, and that's logic, right? That's what I mean, bro. You're gonna hold firm. See, I have an open mind. You could change my mind.
Well, no, that's not what you just said.
No,
The
now you're going
attitude
back on
that
what
you
you
had.
said a second ago. You said, like, not 10 minutes ago, that I cannot change
That we
your
couldn't.
worldview. Yeah.
Because I can already discern who you are, and that's probably not going to happen. That's
Well,
logic.
no, see, you're closed-minded.
No, I'm open-minded.
No, you're
told you
very
that.
closed-minded. You said that I'm not going to change your mind. I, on the other hand, have been open-minded about this, and I said, you can change my mind. You could easily change my mind.
And I just told you you could too, but not in
Right,
the
you
way
went
that
back
you're
on what you
approaching the
previously
conversation.
said. There's nothing wrong with going back on it, admitting that you were wrong, but you
Julia.
probably admit you were wrong.
Yeah, it's well, why'd you jump in here twice, bro? Seth.
Because, this.
Oh, you sound better.
Yeah,
So,
that's the point.
So let's rewind a little bit. Am I giving you fair airtime to say what you say without cutting you off or kicking you out?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So that's a positive. Right?
Yeah.
What can we gain from speaking to one another? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
You could ask me questions about my worldview and point out contradictions, and I can fix them or abandon them. Same for you. But, I mean, now I'm confused because previously you said you wouldn't do that. Now you're saying you will.
You can, like, swing me and back me into a corner all you wish, but I'm not going to be triggered. I'm trying to have a, like, friendly
I'm not trying to trigger you. I'm just trying to. I'm not trying to trigger you. I'm just asking you to be responsible for your positions.
Well, I have a way of going about things, Seth, and as well as you do. And so
I'm aware of that. Everyone has a way that they go about things. The problem is, I'm trying to ascertain whether or not you are going to account for your worldview and correct your worldview, because previously you said you wouldn't, then you said you would, and then when I brought this up to you, asking you to pick one, you kind of attacked me by saying that I wasn't going to trigger you, as if I was trying to trigger you, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just asking you to be responsible for your position.
Well, I'm trying to establish some trust because you said you would have to see that Ouija board happen for you to evaluate.
Oh,
right?
I can trust you. I trust a lot of people very, very much. But if they told me that they were doing a seance and a vase floated across the room, I would be skeptical. I have good reasons to be skeptical of that.
Yeah, as would have I. But there is. So, would you agree that there is something called magic?
There is something called magic. Yes, that's why we have a word by the name of magic.
Where you could, things could appear. I don't know. If you've never, it's hard for me to talk to someone that doesn't acknowledge the supernatural element of creation.
Why should I acknowledge the supernatural? I mean, you're asking me to basically, grant you something that I'm not willing to grant you. I don't see any evidence to think that there was a supernatural entity that created the universe and people. As a matter of fact, I know of reasons to think that that's not the case.
So let's see. I'm trying to think of some other things that are supernatural. What about like the Philadelphia experiment?
The Philadelphia experiment.
I'm sorry?
The Philadelphia experiment.
Are you familiar with it?
Are you talking about the ship that wasn't in that harbor that people think was in the harbor, and what's the word? What's the rumor? That it ended up somewhere else and it came back and there was a strange glow and there were people like half in the metal, like that Philadelphia experiment.
So you don't believe any of it?
I've looked into it, and what I've looked into,
none
of the records match what people claim about it, and none of the records about the supernatural events supposedly that took place on the Philadelphia can even be traced back to the date it supposedly happened. These are apparently stories that came out much, much later.
But okay, so did you grab a hold of the alien idea ever?
What idea?
You still subscribe to it? Possibility
The what idea?
of aliens or extraterrestrials?
Is it possible that there's intelligent life somewhere in the universe?
I'm just asking you if you've ever, if you. I'm trying to see where you're at, bro.
If I had to take a bet, I would say that there is.
Okay, simple enough. There's no need to walk circles and be defensive. I'm not going to attack you. I'm just seeing where you're at. I could just say a word and you could say yes or no. Okay.
But I can't because I'm not sure what you meant by that. Because quote, hey, aliens, Seth, yes or no, isn't really a question I could answer. Do you mean that they visited Earth? I don't think that's the case. Do you think that? Are you talking about microscopic, life forms on Mars? Because that may or may not be the case. Intelligent life somewhere in the universe? It's really up in the air. But if I had to take a bet, if I said, Seth, you can either lose $100 or gain $100, depending on what you pick here. And if you don't pick one, you're just going to lose $100. And I would pick that there's intelligent life in the universe other than humans. But it's not something that I would take. It's not a bet that I would take without being forced into it.
Okay, so pictures of Earth from space, yes or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not skeptical in any way.
Depends. I'm somewhat skeptical. Like if somebody posts a picture of Earth, I have to wonder, when this was taken and how this was taken, and whether or not it's composite. And I don't automatically see a picture of Earth and think like you guys that somebody's trying to tell me that this is like somebody took a Polaroid in space and snapped a picture of Earth. That's the fallacy that you guys have, and I don't think that's the case.
I kind of see it as if I kind of just, for whatever reason, that's the first step that someone usually goes to when they look into this topic. They say, well, bullshit, we got pictures. And then you look at that with another idea behind that, and you say, wait a minute. And you start looking, and so that's kind of the first step. So I didn't know if you were skeptical at all. You say,
well, I mean, it would be problematic
hold on. I've let you talk a lot. Hold on. To me, pictures of Earth would be freaking absolutely stunningly beautiful, and they would sell like hotcakes. There'd be a huge market for it. Why wouldn't there be?
Why would there be?
Because we love pictures. Look at everybody's living room. It's most of them have. I'm sitting here. This one, it's got waves in the ocean, painting over here. There's a sunset over there. We love nature and the earth, the beauty of it. So, have you ever really seen anybody with a picture of Earth hanging on their wall? Hold on, Seth, stay with me.
Okay.
Have you ever seen somebody with a picture of Earth hanging in their living room wall?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, I'm sure. Are you telling me that you believe that nobody has? Hold on, I'm asking you. Do you think it's the case that
you got to answer my question, Seth?
I am going to answer your question, but do you think it's the case?
And then elaborate. Say yes or no, and then you give me an explanation.
Yes.
I would appreciate that. I'll do that. I'll try to do that for you too. Okay.
Then the answer is yes.
See, because I'm getting this thing that you will avoid agreeing with me, and that's strange to me. Like if we can't, we don't even know each other first time we ever spoke, and we can't become friends because supposedly we have different worldviews. What's wrong with that, Seth? That's strange to me.
That's a projection on your part. I am friends with lots of people who have different opinions than me. I'm a strong atheist. I like to argue. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. Justin, let me finish. Justin, let me finish. Justin, can I insist on you letting me finish here.
You know who gets emotional loses the debate, right?
Well, that's not true, and I'm not emotional. I just insist on finishing my point. You're not letting me finish.
So you automatically assumed I was talking about you and not myself. Why is that?
Anyways, it's the case that I am friends with a lot of people who I disagree with vehemently about religion and about other topics. I would have friends. Hold on. I would have friends that are even flat earthers, except for the fact that most of them tend to be extremely dishonest, except for possibly Hank Hill, who is more of an acquaintance than a friend.
Well, I would say that's a projection on me because I've treated you with nothing but respect so far. And I wanted
didn't
to
say
tell
you
you
were
that I
dishonest.
appreciate you. I wanted to tell you I appreciate you coming on my channel and having a little talk with me.
Well, I appreciate you starting it.
Okay. So there's something we can agree on, right? Doesn't that feel
Right.
good?
Your,
Does that
your
feel,
insinuation
does
that I
feel-
can't be friends with people who disagree with me is incorrect and demonstrably so.
I said me.
Right. An insinuation is that I can't be friends with people who disagree with me. That's
Call it whatever you want,
correct
brother.
insinuation.
I don't have to defend it. It's blatantly obvious.
Then don't
That
defend it.
I'm
I've made my
approaching
point.
you
Can we move on?
I'm approaching you with love and compassion as a human being.
Okay.
And so
What does that have to do with the question?
you? Because you're not understanding my philosophy. I told you never spoke to anybody like me, dude. Just try to
if you
relax
say
and
so,
have a
you don't
conversation
seem to
with
be
me.
that
We can learn. We can learn, right?
You don't seem to be that
Because
atypical yet.
I'm feeling a wall, bro. I'm just telling you, feeling a wall.
I'm just trying to answer you
You know what I mean?
earnestly and honestly, and you keep interrupting me and not letting me to actually
Seth,
explain
that's
anything.
not true. I've gave you way more airtime than me, and there's no really explanation for anything. I'm just ask me questions if you want. Let's go back and forth. I'm not trying to back you into a corner. I'm just trying to see where you're at.
Well, I'm trying to stick with the topic, but you keep changing the subject out on a whim.
Well, you wanted to come on and talk to me, so this is where we're going. That's why. Look at the title, Seth. Let's see where
I can't
this
see the
goes.
title.
Well, the title is just Seth and myself. Let's see where this goes and what's happening. I'm seeing where this is going to go. So
Yeah.
you could say I'm all over the place, but I do have a method to my madness.
If you say so.
Okay. So back to my question that I asked you. Have you ever been in somebody's living room that had a framed picture of the globe hanging on the wall?
Yes.
Okay. You want to elaborate on it?
Yeah. When I was a kid, I had a framed photo of Earth in my living room in Huntington Beach.
Okay, so you had one yourself. That's what
Yes.
you're saying. You're kind of breaking up. Outside of
Well,
that,
not in my living room, in my bedroom. I won't lie. It was in my bedroom.
thank you. See, now doesn't that feel good? Come on, man. We're not. This isn't a win or lose situation. When two or more are gathered,
But I don't. I mean, let's get to your
for
point.
real truth. My point is that I need to test your honesty, and you just revealed a lie. That is awesome. I love you for that. Thank you.
Right.
So, okay.
You're
So
going
you
to claim
never
that your point about Earth being beautiful and having pictures framed in living rooms was about me lying.
No,
I don't believe
no.
you.
I'm going to say doesn't that strike you as odd? I'm not going to attack your character. You admitted it. I don't know what you do. I'm not going to go there. We're never going to talk about that again. I'm going to say, I said, I thank
what's
you
your
for
point?
that. Did that make you think? Has anybody
About
ever
what?
asked you? Have you ever thought about that?
No.
Cool. You wanted to
So
ask
what's
me
your-
something?
Do you have yeah? What is your point?
I don't really have points. Sure. I don't really have points.
I don't believe you.
Bro, I just go with the flow. I've never asked anybody that question. I think it was actually kind of brilliant. Because the only reason I did is because I'm sitting here looking at landscape pictures that my girlfriend's mom painted that just passed away a few months ago. And they're all landscape. But what if we had one of the whole construct, bro? Wouldn't that be freaking a badass picture on the living room wall? For some reason, creation takes a different form or whatever. Let's see, what do you want to call it? Just Earth in general? Like anything in nature or what? Do you agree with the concept of nature, right?
Do I agree with the concept of nature? I don't even know what that means.
I mean, it's like, I just don't see how orderly this place is, how you can think it just, I don't understand.
What do you mean orderly?
You gave me some word to say what, as how you see it, how you perceive the world. You gave me some word, but I have no idea what it meant. And that's a lie that I'm going to admit. I just didn't say nothing because Whatever you said you are, I never heard of it before. Like your worldview.
I didn't give a name to my worldview.
You gave a big word earlier, and I don't remember what it was. You're not atheist. You're a whatever.
I'm an atheist.
Oh, okay. All right. So, why was they telling you guys? Why was Pillbox saying that you believe in the Bible and stuff?
I have no idea. Pillbox isn't very honest.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the, that's what I get kicked out for. I called him out in a lie. He said that everyone that when people circumnavigate the earth, when they the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, everyone uses, apparently, when they're traveling long distances, the projection, the projection map. I can't remember which one that's called.
Mercator?
I don't think
Mercator? Azimuthal equidistant?
Yeah.
Go Peters.
Yeah, that's not true. I mean, anybody who's a private pilot and who's held a chart in their hands can see that that's not the case.
Look, I'm gonna really shake your world right now, and I'm gonna say that I'm not afraid to say that it could be a ball because nobody knows what it is, but everything inside of me has said that it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't want to be insulting, but the only reason you think that is because you're either tied to that belief or you haven't done the research. It is very clear that the Earth is a ball. We've known this since before the ancient Greeks. The Greeks knew this.
When did you first hear about this online debate of this topic? How long have you been involved? Because I've never seen you.
I've known of the flat earthers since I was digging into paranormal conspiracy theories when I was in middle school.
That's cool. Well, other than Christopher Columbus' story, I just heard about it 2 years ago, two Junes ago. So it would have been June 2015.
Yeah, well, Christopher Columbus didn't travel the world to prove that it was round.
I know if you look at the first link when you type in his name in the 10 facts, yeah, I've seen that. But strange, I was just in boot camp, and one of the cadence songs was about Christopher Columbus. And the first sentence, in 1492, when Chris went out to college, he roamed the streets of Spain selling hot tamales. He said the world was round, oh. He said it couldn't be found, oh. A hypothetical navigating son of a gun, Columbo. But anyway.
And?
So back to my picture on the wall, okay? How badass would it be to have the globe Earth in like maybe 36 by 36 zoomed in on a corner of it and just seeing it, I don't know how that would look.
It doesn't fit with my decor, but that would surely explain why people pop around on Google Earth for hours at a time.
I'm just trying to wrap my mind around on if we could get the whole construct in one picture.
We have.
Could we actually have the capability to see cities upside down in the southern hemisphere?
Well, no, because they're not upside down.
Well, what I'm saying is, and I could almost subscribe to that. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what part was.
No, upside down relative to what, right? Right side up and upside down only makes sense.
The up or down thing is one of the basic things that you got to throw out the window, bro. You got to throw out the window to believe in a ball. I mean, it's so simple.
No, not true.
Up and down. We all know what that is.
Yeah, we do. The direction of gravity.
I know. So what happens when you get far enough away from the construct of the Earth and then you say there is no up or down?
Well, up would be where your head is and down would be where your feet are. Have you ever read Ender's Game?
No.
Ender's Game has a whole, it talks about this quite a bit.
So if you had the ability with some type of camera from a far distance to zoom in and see like Chicago kind of sticking out at a 20-degree angle, and you back up the zoom and you go down a little lower towards the equator, and their cities are sticking straight outside. Wouldn't that be badass?
Well, actually, you can kind of prove that in reverse. Justin?
Don't you think that
Justin?
would be a
Justin?
piece of art that you
Justin?
want on your living room wall?
Hey, Justin.
I'm asking you.
I know, and I'm trying to tell you something. You've asked this like 3 times now, and I would like to respond.
Okay, go ahead and derail my convo. Go for it.
There's no derailing. I'm going to talk about the subject you're talking about, but I insist on you letting me actually respond to it.
It's all you.
I don't see why that's a problem.
Go for it. I'm giving you the stage.
You know, for someone who goes for the flow, you sure are being kind of controlling.
Not really.
Yeah,
That's
you're
projection,
pretty insistent that I don't respond to what you're saying, and you're insulting me for trying to respond to what you said.
Now,
But I thought you were going with the flow.
do you believe in cognitive dissonance? Because that's what you're going through right
Yeah, I think you probably have cognitive dissonance. But here's the point.
We all do.
Here's the point. Yeah, sure, we all do. But I think in this specific instance, you have it. So here's the thing. From a camera, right? The camera's right side up is however you point the camera, right? This whole upside down, right side up cities from a globe thing is totally useless for that respect, because if the satellite was just to turn its lens around, yeah, okay, then cities on the bottom of the earth would be right side up. But here's the problem for you.
No,
The problem for you is, hold on. The problem for you is there is a way that people on the northern hemisphere see the moon in one direction. People in the southern hemisphere, since they are upside down relative to us, let me finish. Since they're upside down relative to us, Justin, I let you finish. I get a chance to finish now. Since people are relatively upside down compared to the people in the northern hemisphere, they see the moon in the other direction. They see it upside down compared to us, which only makes sense on a flat Earth or on a round Earth.
So what if we was to have the camera point at the moon with the capability to zoom in and see him in the same sea of tranquility, or a telescope or whatever?
What?
As an observer, I'm speaking from myself as an observer. When I said I wanted to, if I could see the whole construct of the Earth, I meant as an observer, like I'm out there. I got my own camera. I can zoom into whatever parts that I want. So therefore, I myself would verify what I'm seeing, not anybody else's thing. That's the question that you dodged.
I didn't dodge it. I was trying to respond to something else you said. So you're asking, why can't you go up into orbit and take pictures with your cell phone camera?
I'm putting myself there. Okay.
All right. Ask the question clearly, because I'm trying to answer you.
Start with the picture on your wall. Okay. If you say we had the capability as a average Joe human being to go on vacation and get up in a rocket or whatever and go and see the construct from that perspective, and we had our own cameras, wouldn't that be a fascinating thing to see?
You're asking if it would be a fascinating thing to see to take a picture from space. Is that what you're asking?
See, your cognitive dissonance will not let you.
I'm trying to get. You're not making any sense. You're saying that it's crazy that people have pictures of walls of Earth, and it would be interesting to take pictures of the Earth. What do you? Be specific. Yeah, you're kind of going all over the place.
Yeah, I know. It's just going places where your mind doesn't want to go because of cognitive dissonance. No,
you're just not clearly talking. You're not making any specific question here. I want you to ask me a specific question.
It's a pretty tricky approach. Huh?
Ask it again, please.
Well, I approach conversation as if, hold on,
That's not what you were talking about. You're talking about taking pictures of Earth.
I'm going to mute for 2 seconds. Okay, you still there? Still there?
Yes.
Okay. So I can't really debate because I'm out. I'm inside. There's other people in the house, so I can't really get my voice invested. But, okay. I approach our conversation as if we're friends and we sit around the coffee table and our mind and imagination to have a little fun. You know what I'm saying? This ain't about who's right or wrong, because we're talking about things that, to the best of our knowledge, we don't have. And that is a photo.
Justin,
that
you
can
accused me of dodging a
authentically say-
question. I'm asking you to ask me the question again so I can answer it.
Okay, all right. So, but you derailed my whole train of thought on it now.
Right, because I want to get back
things
to
happen.
ask your question. You accused me of dodging it, and I don't want to dodge your question. So ask the question again, please.
Start the whole thing over. Where do you want me to start over at?
I don't know. You complained that I dodged your question. I would like to answer it. Wherever you think it's pertinent to start at, to ask your question.
Sorry,
so I can answer it.
in chat. People in chat, I'm not really paying attention. Even before I asked the question, I tried to tell you that compatible and that nothing was going to come and say that I was lying. Told me up front that I could change your worldview, which is
I didn't hear any of that. I couldn't hear any of that, Justin.
I like that. I like that. The only thing that I know is we could have a completely different. I got a lot of different views of reality.
Justin, you're not
We
understandable.
sit down and we talk about it. And nobody's unfair. Speaking in a world that you don't even know about, bro.
No,
You don't even.
nobody heard what you were
don't
talking about. You're breaking up, Justin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm outside, so. And now we got 7 viewers. So you still can't hear me? Check.
I can hear you better now.
Hang on a second. I was going to come out here and smoke a cigarette, but if you can't hear me.
I might order pizza.
You're gonna order pizza? Oh, but I will wait on the stand for How's that? Can they hear him?
Probably.
All right, Seth. I actually got 8 people watching now. I don't have anything to say, really.
Well, I mean, you
Sorry.
accused me of not answering your question. I'd like you to answer the question so I can answer it.
I don't have one anymore. I just want to know if I made you think, man. Did I make you think? Did I provoke thought?
I don't want to lie,
You don't have
but
to.
honestly, not really.
Okay. Neither did you. But something did come out of it.
Yeah, well, I think the fault of both of those is probably your own.
Go ahead, brother. I'll take it. But anybody else can come in. I'm going to invite some people. I don't really have much to say. I don't feel like talking. But if you want to hang around, you're more than welcome. And you can even talk. I don't care.
Yeah, I'd like somebody to come into the room that actually wants to talk about the crazy things that they believe so I can show them why they're wrong. It seems to me that if you believed something and somebody says that you're wrong, you might want to defend your position. Like, for example, why do you think that ships disappear over the horizon? Why do you think that there are tons of pictures of the Earth that are obviously curved, if not totally spherical? I mean, even if I were to grant you that there are few or even no whole pictures of the Earth, which I wouldn't grant, right? Maybe I'll say that there's a handful full pictures of the Earth. There's at least that, and then there's composites. Each piece of the composite showing a curved Earth. Also, the fact that all the other planetary bodies are obviously curved. When you look at the moon and you look at the shadow, you see the shadow that would exist on a sphere. Also, when you look at the craters that are generally circular, you look on the edge of the diameter of the moon, they get elliptical, which is consistent with craters you'd find on a sphere looking at it from a relative direction of Earth. Same thing with other planetary bodies. Same thing with Saturn, especially Saturn. The shadows on Saturn from its rings and its crescent, its crescent shadows also show that Saturn specifically is spherical. It'd be kind of weird that Earth is the only planetary body that wasn't spherical, plus all the evidence that the Earth is spherical, including the photos and the fact that things go over the horizon, and the fact that the curve is measurable. And the equidistant projection maps are hugely problematic.
Are you paid or possessed?
Sorry? All I heard was you tapping a microphone or scruffing with the microphone. I didn't hear what you asked.
I said, are you paid or possessed?
Possessed? I don't... Can you say it clearly? No? Okay.
I must say, Seth, you're probably one of the hardest people I've ever tried to talk to. But
Why is that?
just because.
It's not my fault that your microphone is making noise and I can't hear what you said.
Well, it's because I took my headset off and I'm just kind of holding my mic up. Had a long day on the hot roof. I'm really tired.
That's
just
fine.
got stoned.
But don't blame me because I couldn't hear you when your microphone is making noise.
There's no blame, but I'm just saying.
Right, you just said that I'm the worst person to talk to after I
No,
couldn't hear you
I
twice
didn't.
because the microphone is messed up.
The least interesting.
Well, God forbid that I have, positions that I can defend rather than positions that I feel are interesting.
Boy, you got a weak armor if that's your defense, bro. I'm telling you, because I could see right through it. It's like paper.
No, that's a perfect defense. Are you saying that it's better to have interesting positions than true positions?
What'd you say?
Do you think it's better to have true positions or interesting positions?
Dude, do you realize that true is in
I
truth?
answered you
Hold
insisted
on.
that I answered your yes or no questions directly, and I'm
Well, it
asking
depends
you
on
the
how
same
you
thing.
see truth.
Which is better?
What is true? What's the definition of truth?
Justin, I bit the bullet and answered you yes or no when you asked me to. I'm
Nice
asking
try.
you to do the same.
It's one of the hardest words to define. You can look up your modernized, watered-down dictionary, and it's not going to give you what it means to me.
Actually, it does, and I'll treat you better than you treated me. Even though you insisted that I answer then clarify, I'm going to clarify and then I'll give you another chance to answer. Even though you didn't give me the same
Trish, how you
courtesy.
doing? Trish out there.
Right. You didn't give me the same courtesy, Justin. But what I mean by true is actually consistent with reality. So, do you think it's better to have beliefs that are
Well,
consistent
Seth,
with reality or beliefs that are
how
interesting?
can I talk about heavenly things if like you don't even
You're not going
understand
to answer the
earthly
question,
things?
yes or no, are you, Justin?
You're interrupting me on my show. I'm not interrupting you. Please don't do that. I said, I don't even know what I said because you keep
Because it
interrupting.
wasn't a yes or no.
I said truth is the hardest word to define, and if
And
I
I
can't
defined
tell
it.
you, see, there you go again. This is about to be over with because I can't give you my perception without you interrupting me.
Well, I can see why you'd want to run away.
Well, you can attack me all you want, bro. It's not gonna affect me.
Apparently it is, because you're threatening to kick me out for it.
There's more than one angle. Okay, when you see a rainbow, that was white light. That's now shows
But are you
that
going to
took
answer my
7.
question?
You're interrupting me again.
I know, and
I
you
can't even
interrupted
talk
me
on
when
your
I
show.
wouldn't answer yes or no. And now I'm just asking you for the same courtesy.
No, you're disruptive.
What happened to this, Justin? You insisted that I say yes or no to your yes or no question, and I said fine. You answered the question, and I
and I said I
answered
would
you
try to
yes
do
or
that for
no.
you. I said
Then
I would
I
try
got a
to do
chance
that
to
for you.
clarify. Now I'm asking you to do the same.
This conversation is horrible, man. I can't believe we got.
Yeah,
6
I know,
people
because you're a
listening to
hypocrite, Justin.
this. Oh, thank you. Because when you got a finger pointing at me, you got 4 of them pointing back at you, bro. Just so
Except that I didn't do anything wrong here. I did exactly what you asked me to do, and now you're refusing to do the same for me. You're being a hypocrite.
you know. No, because what I told you is, I told you
To
that
answer
because
yes or
you had
no
been,
and then clarify, and I did.
Seth, if you interrupt me again, I'm done with this conversation, dude. If you
I
want to
can
be
see why
booted
you'd
and
wanna
go
run
say
away.
you want to debate or something, that's fine. I don't care. I'm not going to make enemies with you.
You're not my enemy. You're just being a hypocrite.
Thank you. I said the first time. Now, if you and I don't see the same point of view on earthly things, how could we talk about the higher things and other angles of the 7 that make up the rainbow?
Is it better to have opinions that are
Did you
interesting
know
or
that you
opinions that are
cannot
true,
have-
Justin?
Did you
Well,
not
Justin,
know
now you're interrupting me.
Did you not know?
No?
Did you not know that it takes 2 intersecting angles of light to form on the 2-dimensional hologram of a rainbow in a 3-dimensional field of raindrops?
That's hilarious. But is it better
Yeah.
to have opinions that are interesting
Hilarious.
or opinions that are true?
Show me. Why can't we just put a spotlight up in our backyard at night and turn the garden hose on and see a rainbow?
Right, that's very interesting. But is it better to have opinions that are interesting or opinions that are true?
I said it depends on your definition of true.
And I define true. Consistent
I
with
didn't hear
reality.
Well, consistent in absolute reality wouldn't be truth to me. Consistency is not truth. Absolute.
No, I didn't say consistency. I said consistent with reality.
So how would I word that sentence correctly for you?
You couldn't, because what you said is
Constant
wrong.
isn't absolute. Constant isn't absolute, or consistency isn't absolute.
I don't care about absolutes. I care about what's consistent with reality. If what's consistent with
so
reality
I'd rather
is
have
what's
I'd
true.
rather
In
have
other
an
words,
interesting-
if there's a battery on the table, that would be
Right,
consistent
Trisha.
with reality that there's a table, and upon the table there's a battery.
Right, Trisha? Whose reality? That's what I mean. Our realities aren't even in the same ballpark, bro. So for us to have a conversation,
I'm not talking
is
about
gonna
what. I'm not talking about your worldview. I'm talking about what's true, regardless of our worldview.
intellectually,
Do you think that
this
there's-
conversation
Do
will
you think
go
that there
nowhere.
are true things that are true regardless of what you think and I think?
I don't know. Name one.
The Earth is round.
Huh?
The Earth is round.
That's brilliant. So I would say that's not true.
Yeah, that's a troll answer. A better answer, something that you and I would agree on, and is actually true, is I exist and you exist. You would accept that, right?
Seth,
Justin.
do you understand? You have an incredible level of faith way more. I don't know.
Well, that's
Like I
great,
said,
Justin. But you've avoided 3 of my questions.
I have an incredible amount of faith in a different way. You believe in the carnal, fleshly, earthly, physical, tangible earth.
You don't know that.
I believe in a invisible.
Yeah, you believe in things that you
spiritual-
haven't been able to demonstrate. Like, for example, is it better to have beliefs that are interesting or beliefs that are consistent with
I
reality?
already answered that. I said
No, you didn't. You
interesting.
said it was hard
I
to
said
define truth. And
interesting.
when I defined truth, you said, who's reality?
And I answered
That's
it
not
again.
answering my question on
You're
whether or
just
not it's
arguing
more
with me.
important to have interesting ideas or ideas that are true.
You're just arguing with me.
Yes, because I would
I
like an
said
answer to the question.
interesting.
I answered your
Interesting.
questions, and now you're avoiding mine like the plague.
For the 10th fucking time, I would rather have an interesting conversation.
Right. Interesting conversations are great, but I didn't say interesting conversations, that interesting opinions and interesting beliefs.
That's all you're giving me, buddy. You can label it what you want.
Label what? You said
It's the same
conversations.
thing.
I don't care
It's the
about
same
conversations. I care about true opinions or beliefs. So is it more important to have true opinions or interesting opinions?
Interesting.
Okay, well,
No such
then
thing
you don't
as
care
true
about what's
opinion.
real, and I do. You've given up caring about what's true. I care about what's
No,
true, Justin.
You are giving up on what's real, bro. There's an
No, because
invisible,
if you asked
undeniable-
me that question, if it's more important to have opinions that are true or interesting, I'll say true, and I have in the past. When you asked me the other day, what's the appeal of the round Earth? I said there is none, other than the fact that it's apparently true. And then you accused me of not answering your question.
because you did.
But that's exactly my position. I care about what's true, and apparently you don't. You care about having interesting conversations
Because
more than what's
if
true.
it was true, it wouldn't be a debate going on, would there?
Sure, it would. Lots of
The
things that are true
only-
are debate. You think it's true that the Earth is flat, but there's still a debate.
I would buy a picture of that fucking globe Earth and them upside down cities and all that. A little video. Man, I would buy that. I would buy it right now. It would be sweet.
Well, you
Man,
can
would it
find
be
that
cool.
online.
It'd be a
That's-
beautiful
You
thing.
can see that online.
Man, how magnificent would that
Why
be?
are upside down cities important to you? That doesn't make any sense. You could take a
Because
picture and flip it upside down. You
That
know.
is so outside of reality and inconsistent with the reality that we live in, Seth. And
But
you
Justin, what's
don't have
different?
the
What's the
art
difference
to-
between me going out into space and taking a picture of Sydney, or taking
So
a
you
picture of
want to
Sydney
argue about
from
what is true.
from the sky and then just flipping it upside down and showing you? What's the difference?
Seth,
Justin,
I just told you I thought it would be a freaking amazingly beautiful, awesome thing to have, and I would love to own it, see it, watch it, paint it.
you've avoided another question.
Not one of you guys will even admit that, yeah, that picture isn't very beautiful. It isn't very interesting.
What do you mean I wouldn't admit that pictures are beautiful? Oh, you want me to admit that? Okay, pictures can be beautiful.
You're a great other half of the
Do
coin.
you think that that's something that globe earthers don't think is true? That pictures are beautiful? Did you ask a bunch of globe earthers if pictures can be beautiful and they said no? Is that what happened?
No, you're the first one, actually.
Oh, so but you jumped to the conclusion that we can't admit that pictures are beautiful.
Whatever, dude. You're fucking something else.
Yeah, you're a giant hypocrite.
Thank you. So I get finger pointed and name called. You feel like you're, superior. And all that.
Now you're playing the victim card.
No, you
People
are.
watching this, if
You're
they're
saying that I'm being
aren't going to
hypocritical.
hear your
You're
boo
playing the
hoos and
victim card.
feelies
I
and
will
think
not.
that you're right because you're saying boo
Listen,
hoo.
Listen. I will not answer a fool according to his folly, okay? You want to get into a name calling game. I'm not going to go there. But you're judging me, bro. And you're judging
Yes, I'm
from
judging you.
what you have a huge pole in your eye that you can't see past. Plank.
Okay, if you say so.
And I've removed the speck in my own eye so I can see clearly to help you get yours out of there. But you ain't
What's that
a little
effect
free.
that Pillbox likes to bring up all the time? Dunning-Kruger.
It takes a little free will, man. You have to not be afraid to think that your whole life's a lie. You gotta be able to even consider that to be in the same ballpark as
Yeah,
people
because
I
I've
like
never
to
done
talk to.
that.
So,
I've never done that. You're right, Justin. Without asking me, you assuming that I've never looked at my worldview and changed it drastically means that I haven't.
you can't talk
Don't bother
philosophy,
asking me,
Seth.
Justin.
You can't.
I'll just disappoint you.
You can't talk philosophy, Seth.
I can and I do.
You think if you were raised from without any type of schooling, like a tribe Indian type nature, with no traditional concepts of things, you think you would actually come to the belief that what you believe right now?
Justin.
Come on, dude. Are
Justin.
you kidding me? That's insane.
Hey, Justin.
You're gonna come up with that?
So
huh?
here's this thing. You just accused
So we don't
me
have any
of
pictures. We don't
not
have any
ever
beautiful
drastically
pictures.
changing my worldview.
We
But
don't
here's
have any
the thing.
beautiful pictures. Seth.
I have at least once
We don't have
drastically
any-
changed my worldview. So you're
We
wrong
don't.
about that.
Now he can come and chat and whine to you guys, but I can't talk to this guy. It's not about winning or losing. It's about trying to come together as human beings. And that dude didn't have any desire to meet somebody and have an intellectual, intelligent conversation at all. But yeah, we gathered 6 people. Nobody else has joined. So, wow, that guy was something else. Sorry about that. I gave him a chance, but Trish, you ever done one of these hangouts? Marcus, Tom? Yeah, well, that's why, Trish, that's why I came out and said that I wasn't trying to change anything about him. I was going to challenge everything about him, though. And he didn't like that. He I've sensed a lot of pride, if I do say so, myself. A lot of ego. I think it's fun to think, wow, what if I was wrong? What if all that isn't the way, that's fun. That's why we get the name conspiracy theorist or whatever. But I can't really talk to somebody that doesn't acknowledge any type of divinity and ascension to the world we live in. Philbox, you said that guy was a Christian. What the heck? Said he believed in the Bible. Yeah, Tom, I did too. Wow. His whole objective was to disagree. So, I'm gonna have a better combo with my dog. Come here, Zozo. I sent you guys an invite.
Got a live stream going here?
Yeah, but we could go offline if you wanted.
No. What's up? Stay on the air.
I just talked to the most boringest dude I've ever talked to in my life.
Oh, that made you think of me? Oh man, come on.
No, I was like, I'm gonna get the most interesting dude in here. No, give me a second. Hang out for a second if you want. Shoot the shit for a minute.
Yeah, so you're alive right now? Apparently so. Jed, sit and talk about me. Jeez. Who was the guy you talked to?
His name was Seth. You can talk if you want, VP. Just give me about 2 minutes. Yeah, man. Try to get. Yeah, I don't know. You just have to rewind it, man. I can't even explain this guy. Wow.
I mean, what were you guys talking about?
Oh, he was kind of been trolling Randy and Pillbox and Arcane and those guys on Flat Out Elected. They actually let him in the hangout, which blows my mind after talking to the guy. He's like a negator, maybe, only worse. Wow.
Antagonizing, right?
Just no intelligent conversation whatsoever. It's insane.
Yeah.
I was like, man. After about 20 minutes, I was like, dude. He started calling me names and everything else. I was laughing. These people.
Was he like?
Go ahead.
Was he bashing on Christianity or something?
No, actually, he didn't at all.
Okay.
He wasn't really bashing on nothing because, in order, like you're the one of the few people that like doesn't monitor your chat. And you don't have any problems because that's what they feed off of. You know, demons feed off of fear. Trolls feed off of getting banned and blocked. It's the same difference. Hang on, I'll be right back. I gotta go smoke real quick. You can invite anybody you want in here, VP. I'll give you controls, actually, if you want.
If it'll work from my phone app.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, you could try.
Sure.
I don't even know who I would add if that were.
Yeah, just seen your name pop up there in the options to add people. So I was just going. That's how I usually, when I'm done talking, I'll like open my Hangouts to people I know. I can say whatever they want. But anyway, if you're still here when I get back, I'll talk to you. Oh, VB dropped, man. Dang it. I was going to tell him about that guy. Just had to clear my head for a second. Hey, Zach. I'm going to go ahead and end this. I am saving it, though. Thanks, guys, for watching.